I was listening to a very seasoned, experienced Navy SEAL who was an officer and managed many platoons and deployed to war and stuff as well. I've been listening to a lot and reading a lot of war and military books and things like that. So I've been getting a lot of different strategies and things like that. And it's been very good. I'm trying to share that with you, clients that I work with one-on-one in the inner circle calls as well. Yesterday, I was sharing this one story to illustrate my point. And the point is, people often have these floodgates of information from social media, from multiple books or mentors, from friends and family, just all these floodgates of information that they have. And they overcomplicate things. They over confuse themselves, right? They lay it on too thick to a point where they lose touch with the ground. They lose touch with the fundamentals, right? So that's the point that I was making. To illustrate that, I gave you a real story. This story is from this Navy SEAL I was listening to. And he was saying that he was in battle. They were in Iraq and they were very close to enemy territory. They were in on an active mission, right? And there was this younger Navy SEAL who was about 23 years old or so, was experienced, trained, obviously. He's a Navy SEAL, that's why he's there. But he's younger, he's 23 years old. And he said this officer and in charge of this whole platoon, he looked over and he saw this 23-year-old standing there in the middle of open landscape, in the middle of an open field where there's enemy fire and whatnot, and close enough that he shouldn't be standing in open space. And he went up to him and said, "Hey, man, I just want to ask you, why are you standing here?" And the guy said, "Well, based on the formation, whatever, based on the position, I'm standing here to cover or whatever." And he asked him, he said, "Okay, well, if your 10-year-old self was here right now playing cops and robbers or playing with your friends, would you be standing here in plain sight?" And he said, "No, probably not." And he said, "Okay, where would you be standing if you're a 10-year-old playing a game with your friends?" He said, "Probably taking cover behind that rock over there." And he said, "Okay, so your 10-year-old self had better instincts and would have handled the scenario better than your 23-year-old Navy SEAL trained self. So all the training, all the information, all these formations and positions and cover and move and these different tactics we've taught you actually led to you, because there's so much information and you've lost touch with the fundamentals, with the ground. It led to you making the wrong decision in a very critical moment where your instincts would have led you to the right position. Your 10-year-old self would have known better." So his point was, he said in that thing that I was listening to, he said, a lot of times, what the right decision is. Your instincts know what the right thing to do is. You just got to trust your instincts. You just got to move into action, trust your instincts, and get after it. What happens is people overanalyze things. It's paralysis by analysis. They get paralyzed because they overanalyze so much. They overcomplicate things. They overstress themselves out. They play the victim card. I'm a victim of my circumstances and things are happening to me, right? They do all these things that aren't serving them. When in reality, you're layering it so thick that you're losing touch with the ground, and you just need to be in touch with the ground, meaning in touch with the fundamentals, in touch with the instincts that you have, knowing what's right and what's wrong. And that's what discipline is. Discipline is doing what you know you need to do, regardless of time, regardless of day, regardless of weekday or weekend, regardless of family, friends, holiday. It doesn't matter. It's all BS. It's all man-made. It's all made up. It's all average. The highest level people that have discipline do what needs to get done. What they know needs to be done, they do it regardless.